welcome back to my channel. My name is T and I love all things skin and beauty, and today we got some new goodies. Okay, I got the new Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Palette. I was like, let me skip on it, but then I was like, but I still want it, you know? So I ended up getting that. And we're also going to play with the new Hourglass face palettes for their holiday collection. I got the Fox one because I felt like this would be more deeper. So we're going to test these new products out. They also have the new Fenty Beauty Bright Fix powders. I have this and Peach, which I'm going to try out. And yeah, we're just gonna have fun playing with makeup. And without further ado, let's get into this. Get ready with me. First things first, I'm gonna go in with going with my base. I've been really liking starting off with my base and then doing eyes later on. So right now I'm using my Lancome concealer. And yeah, we're just going to pretty much get started with the base. Some of these are not new, try and true, so you know. I also went in with my La Base Pro primer from Lancome. And right now, I'm just gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop tint. Gonna put this all over. Yeah, I really like the Eavesdrop just because like you could build it. It doesn't get all cakey, especially when you use the right primer for it. I noticed that it can get really finicky if you don't go in with a good primer that works really well with it because of the formula of foundations or skin tints. You have to make sure that it also gets along with your skincare and the primer that you are using. And it can really make or break like your base application and how well your base is going to perform throughout the day. But when it is getting along with the actual primer that works, it is a lovely formula. I think so far I've probably uploaded the story time video already of Tigress. I'm not sure when this will be up. I'll probably edit this first before the one that I did with using cult. Is it girl cult? Yeah, girl cult stuff. I did a video on using some of their products and palettes as well. So this might be up first. But so far, I'm really liking my base so far. I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty concealer and just kind of spot correct. But I'm gonna go in real quick with the Lancome Fix It and Forget It, just so I can also pat the setting spray in, so that it just fully sets. But yeah, it's not that buildable like full coverage wise. So if you're looking for more of a full coverage, then this probably won't be the one for you. But if you're just looking to like color correct a little bit, bring more color to the face, if you are someone that is like natural is better, I just need like a little tint that's not too full coverage, that's medium at least, then this would definitely be the one for you. Yeah, that's so much better. All right, and then let me spray my brush again and pat my forehead. Make sure I get the setting spray in there. Yeah, this is a technique that I started to do a while back, just so I can make sure that I'm patting the setting spray in with my foundation. This also works well with seal proof makeup setting sprays. Like we all know, like when we were wearing masks during the pandemic, that everyone was looking for tips and tricks about how to like not rub your makeup off of the mask and how to like have long lasting makeup, and one of it was the sealing setting sprays. And this technique really works well with setting sprays like that. Okay, we might just have to go in with powder, so I'm just gonna real quick set everything with this powder that I got. I'm not going to use the puff just because I'm expecting it to be a little too much with the puff thing that it comes with. So we're just gonna go straight in with my BK Beauty brush. This is in 108. The other brush that I used was the BK 109, and just a random double-sided brush that I got a while back. So I'm not gonna, that's probably really, really old. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, interesting. It kind of blurs a little bit and also brightens the under eye. This might be a good under eye powder for sure. Okay. Oh, this is not bad, actually. Oh, wow. Okay. This is actually pretty good. I'm like honestly surprised at how good this brightening powder is. I wonder if I have it in a different shade. I probably don't. I don't think so. I think I got peach because I wanted to try for the under eye, but I might get the actual like the deeper shades to use, because that isn't bad at all. That's actually pretty nice. I'm gonna go in with the Juvia's loose setting powder. One thing that I'm not too fond of for this setting powder is how like big the packaging is. Like, it's a little too big, I think. Actually, let me go in with a different brush. That brush is kind of small. I'm gonna go in with this brush from Adept Cosmetics. This is the P1 brush. Okay. This is pretty good. I've been meaning to like sit down and play with this powder, but I always forget. But this is not too bad of a powder. I just wish the packaging was different and not too big. Like, I think that's probably like the biggest setting powder packaging that I have in my collection, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take the rest of it that's on top of the top here. All right, cool. Base is looking good. And then we're gonna move on to the Hourglass face palette. Lord, how do you even close this? Lord Jesus. It's just so like, I don't know. I don't know. It's so liking this. It's so, oh my God. I'm in the shade Warm Honey, by the way. Yeah, this, I don't know about this powder packaging. But I mean, it did the job, but it's too bulky for me. I don't know. Moving on, this is the Fox palette. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I wasn't even sure if I was going to get this, but I'm like, I believe in FOMO, and FOMO gets me really, really bad. So I kind of had a feeling that I would still get it some way, somehow. So look at it. And foxes are one of my favorite, like, animals, really. Like, I love cats, but for wild animals, it would be foxes, just because of their weird personalities and just like the noises they make. It's just so cute. Okay, so this is what we're working with. This is what we are working with here. Definitely gonna try that berry blush shade. I'm not too sure on the other powders, if it'll show up or work well with my skin tone. We shall see. Okay, so there is a highlighter in Solar Glow. There are blushes, so 2, 4, and 5 are blushes. So the one in the middle up top, and then 4 and 5. So that orange shade that's next to that berry plum blush shade is also a blush. So you have Lucid Glow and Canyon Heat and Amethyst Haze. And then we get a finishing powder in Desert Light and a bronzer and Bronze Fusion, which is the 6th one. So 6 and 3 are, we'll see how those are. I already set my face, so we'll see where this is going to get us, but yeah. So this is the setting powder. And this is the bronzer at the bottom. So I'm just gonna take the setting powder, the face powder here. So this is more of like their light shade. So if you want a little bit of more of a highlight effect that's not too illuminating, just to highlight certain points of the face for you, that's not too overwhelming, these would be like the powders for you. So, and then let's do Cupid's bow. All right, so far I'm liking how you see how it's like glowing from within type of finish with the highlights of the cheeks, like this right here. That's mainly the reason why you know, Hourglass powders are well known, and because it gives you this kind of effect. And on my skin tone, it actually works pretty well. I did it on this side too. I did my Cupid's bow, my nose right here. So it's pretty good, at least with my skin tone. I'm not entirely sure how it would work with everyone else, but I mean, I would definitely use this more. Like, you can kind of see how light and a little bit glowy how the face got, but not too glowy to the point where like you're sweating and disgusting. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like how it just looks on my skin tone. All right, we're gonna move on to the bronzer, which is at the bottom right here. So the lighting is kind of making it more brighter than it is in the pan, but this is the bronzer that we're gonna go in next. Now, I'm not too sure on the bronzer sometimes with Hourglass because some of them be kind of questionable, but you know, we shall see. I'm waiting for the day when they really make like a banging bronzer for us. But I mean, it's showing up. One thing that I do like about their powders is that their powders are buildable. And also they're more on like the natural, like flush of color type of aesthetic. So they're not too pigmented, and some of them may be hard to like swatch because of how soft their powders are. But I mean, we're still gonna continue to buy their palettes anyways because I'm just waiting for that day when they really make a banging bronzer. Now the bronzer, we could do a little bit more. Just saying, there's a lot that is lacking with this. Because you see how I'm still like patting it in and building it up. So this might not work for the majority of deeper skin tones, and that's not surprising because most of their launches never really do, unless you're like tan or like maybe, you know, a shade up in tan. But yeah, this is definitely lacking when it comes down to the bronzing. However, they never miss with their blushes, and I just wish that they thought or had the same process as they did and show more attention to their blush shades as they did to their bronzers and, you know, some of their finishing powders. That's just my thing. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that these blushes are probably most likely going to show up, at least on my skin tone. Not everyone else's deeper skin tone it's going to show up on. It's just not the reality, really. And it kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. It kind of makes you wanting a lot more. And you know, with how big Hourglass is as a brand, you know that they can definitely do more, and they have resources to do more. That being said, I'm actually going to pull out another Hourglass palette that has a deeper shade. I believe it's a finishing powder, but I've honestly been using it as a bronzer and it's been working. So we're going to do that. So I actually have a couple of their palettes that they did in, you know, the past. This is a bronzer that they did for this one. It is the one with like the flowers on them, and it's the shade Bronze Heat. And this is pretty good as a bronzer. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show it justice if I do it side by side, just because I'm not too sure about the pans here. But I feel like some of these are more looser than how they originally were in the pants. So we'll see. I'll lift them up together. That way you can get a good idea. But yeah, I just feel like, one, this is more like stable than like the other ones. Like, I feel like this goes low more. Like the flower one goes a lot more lower than this, as you can see. Like, I don't know, that's just one thing that I've noticed right out, is that the packaging definitely changed a bit. But if I were, and I have to figure this out, if I were to do this side by side, right, which I honestly might need to do this separately, but as you can see, this is the old palette, this is the new palette, and then the bronzers are at the same place. So this is the bronzer for the older one, the flower one, and this is in Bronze Heat. And this one is Bronze Fusion, I believe. Yes, Bronze Fusion. And I feel that this bronzer was deeper than this one. That's the new Fox palette, pretty much. So I'm going to put this on and we're just going to see if that is the fact, but I'm pretty sure that this is much deeper. Yep. It's already showing up. Like, I don't know. That's one thing about these palettes, is that one, you like, especially in the past, like probably it's different now, but in the past you couldn't really select the shades that you wanted, because we all know that some of the shades that they also put on these palettes or in these palettes are repeat shades, especially the one that was like a special Sephora release. Like, who's like, unless you don't have the whole entire collection, then maybe, but those are all repeat shades. Some of these are all repeat shades. And I wanted to get the one that had the new shades, or at least close enough to having the newest shades. And that's also the main reason why I decided to go with this one, is because I know that most of the shades I'll be able to use, at least. I wasn't too sure on, you know, mainly the bronzers. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't entirely sure if that was going to show up, and looks like I was right that it was definitely not going to show up. Now, if I were to go in with a different brush, just for the purpose of this, and if I were to go in with a brush that's a little bit more denser, like this brush from Adept Cosmetics, it really wouldn't pick up. Like, so you gotta use more like a fluffy or an angle brush, like maybe this could work. As you can see, it's showing up a lot more on the brush, and then you can pat it in. But typically you also want to go with a brush that is really going to get that pigment on it. And you know, it does work, but it's just that some of the shades you won't be able to use, which kind of sucks, but that's the whole point of a palette. Like, you're not going to be able to choose some of the shades. So like some of the shades that are in this palette that are selected and curated by Hourglass and their team, some of them you won't be able to use, and that's just gonna, I mean, it is what it is. So right now, because I have like the collection that I have, I can go in with different Hourglass palettes and, you know, kind of save a look, because that bronzer was not working. And as you can see, it's so much better. Like, the lights probably don't show it justice, but I couldn't see that bronzer at all on my skin, like at all. Moving on, I'm gonna go in with this berry shade. You knew I was gonna go in with this berry shade. This is Amethyst Haze. So I'm gonna go in with Amethyst Haze. I'm also gonna use the same brush because why not? Ooh, this is what I'm talking about pigment. If they were to show as close as much attention that they do to their blushes, then we would have better bronze shades for these palettes. But I don't know, like, already pigmented. And I know blushes are different than bronzers, but it's still in a way the same concept, because it also works with the same skin tones and undertones and things like that. This was for the deeper complexion folk, right? And it shows that also in their advertisement. You see the deepest model showing off the shades of this palette. And it's like, if they would show as much attention as they do with their blushes for their bronzers, they would have better bronze shades, especially in their palettes. And like, I don't know, like, it's such a nice color, amethyst, and it's not blotchy. It's going on pretty well and smoothly. And it has a shimmer to it too. It has like such a nice glow, a nice hue to it. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous shade for a blush. And again, I just wish they paid more attention as they did with their blushes with their bronze shades. That being said, I'm pretty much good. I'll probably play with the other shades at another video, but the bronzer was very disappointing. Hate to say it, but as always, when it comes to these Hourglass palettes. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna play with the new Pat McGrath palette. All right, so this is the new Pat McGrath palette. This is very tiny. The shipping is very, very quick. I ordered mine Friday and I got it Saturday night, which is crazy. But also, what's crazy is how tiny this palette is. It is tiny. It is very, like, very tiny. As you can see, very tiny, which was shocking. It was really shocking to see a tiny box by my door. So I'm like, am I getting my Pat McGrath palette? And yeah, this is the Pat McGrath palette. It's very nice, it's very luxe, it's not heavy. That's the only thing. And then the shades are at the back of the palette. So you have the shade names right here. It gives you all of the detailed information. It's a 12-month shelf life and it is made in Italy. This is the Gilded Nirvana Mega Eyeshadow Palette. Definitely smaller than the other Mega palettes that we have seen in the past. And these are the shades. And the shades are also very tiny, but then again, it's like, are we ever going to use up a palette? No, we're not going to use up a palette like this. Like, eyeshadows last so long, in my opinion. I normally go above the recommended shelf life. If it works, it works, you know what I mean? But these are really gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous shades. There are actually two different mattes, I believe, because this is the matte that has the little sparklies. And I'm not entirely sure if it's Mauve Mystique. I think it's Mauve Mystique. Or is it Moonlit Mauve? No, it can't be Moonlit Mauve. It's gotta be Mauve Mystique. So yeah, it's that shade, and then it is Nude Nirvana that is also a matte. So real quick, this is the matte right here with the sparklies. So you have these shades, and then you have this nice pink, dusty pink shade. So I'm honestly excited to come up with a look with this. All of the details will probably be in the description box below, just to help my sanity as I am still editing videos that are pre-recorded. So for the sake of this and my sanity, all of the details will be in the description box. And we're just gonna get started. All right, time for me to take this off, which is so satisfying when you get a new palette. And I'm just loving how the mirror is too. Just absolutely love it. Oh my God. This packaging, I'm not gonna lie, it's gorgeous. The packaging is gorgeous, even though it's tiny. It's a gorgeous type of like packaging for sure. So I'm trying to figure out what look I would like to come up with. So I definitely wanted to try out that pink and brown matte shades, and maybe this type of periwinkle type of shimmer right here, which is absolutely gorgeous. This is Liquid Sky. That is absolutely stunning. I'm excited. All right, going in with it's more of like a brown purple type of shade of a matte. And yeah, you definitely still get the little sparklies there, but like when you blend it, it kind of goes away, but honestly it still stays. So yeah, I'm noticing it's not the type of matte that has sparkles that when you blend it, it goes away. Like this is the type of formula that is still going to keep some of the sparklies there, but it is like a matte shade with like sparkles, which is interesting. Very interesting. Unless my base is just too tacky for this type of shade. And it also goes everywhere, by the way. So not really liking that shade. Moving on. Moving on, we're starting at not such a great spot. I'm gonna go in with the pink matte and put it in the outer corner. And this is a gorgeous pink matte shade. I mean, I feel like we've seen this shade plenty, but still pretty. See, this is a nice matte. If honestly, if that brown matte was different like this, I would have liked it so much more. But that shade is kind of messy. And the shimmers, like, yeah, the little sparklies do help you blend easier, but we never really had an issue or needed a shade like that. And now we have brands starting to put those type of mattes in their palettes, which is kind of frustrating because I prefer that they don't, just because of stuff like this. Like, you can definitely still see some of the gold shimmers like still there. Like, it did not blend it off like they normally or claim to. Like, it's supposed to help you blend mattes, which is just, all you need is a good brush and a good technique and you're good to go. Like, and if it doesn't blend well, then maybe it's the primer or the of that eyeshadow. It's not necessary to have in a palette, especially like this. Like, come on now. When you have all these shimmers, like, obviously someone's gonna mistake it to be a shimmer, but it's a matte with gold reflex in them. Like, that's it. Don't know about this, but I do know I definitely will like the shimmers. So let me put on my primer and we're gonna go in with that Liquid Sky shade. All right, we're gonna go in with this shade right here. I normally like to do, like, apply shimmers with my fingers. This is so pretty. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. All right. Gonna take a little bit of this pink matte again, just so I don't lose it. And the look is pretty much done. The look is pretty much done. What can I say though? Papagraph's formula is pretty easy to use. The only pet peeve that I really have about this palette is that I wish that this brown shade with the gold reflex weren't in this palette. If they would have went with like a normal brown matte shade without this shimmer in there, then we would have been in business, because again, like, it's still going to show the shimmer, but as you can see, this is a matte shade, just has, you know, sparklies in there to help you blend better. Not necessary. Yeah, I'm excited to play more with this palette. So far, I'm liking the shimmers more than I like the mattes, which fair enough. We have other palettes that we can use. Some of them are all matte palettes that we can use to go with this palette here. I honestly think this is more of a complementary type of palette to use because of how there's a lot of shimmers in here. So obviously you can go in with your blends palette from Blend Bunny and things like that to, you know, come up with like another type of like eyeshadow color story for your eyelids. It's not the end of the world, but just FYI, just want to let you know I thought there were only one, like just one matte. There's actually two mattes. Brown one sucks. That's it. But other than that, I really liked the Liquid Sky shimmer shade. It's just very glistening, very sparkly, like the reflex. It's just such a gorgeous color. And I'm excited to honestly continue to play with this palette. Like, I have nothing else to say really than that. Look for more looks with this palette. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my Juvia's Place lip liner. This is in Cola. Yeah, I'm loving, these are one of like my favorite lip liners. And next I'm gonna go in with the Adept Cosmetics lip glosses. This is in the shade Beator. It'll be in the description box because I probably butchered that name. Oh my God, I love these lip glosses. These might be better than the Fenty ones. I'm just saying, don't come for me, But like, you don't feel the glitter. It goes on nice and smooth, and you get like this nice reflect. It's just gorgeous. I think next that's left will just be brows. And I can probably go in with eyebrow pencil from Kosas. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna go in with this. So let me just push it on me. I just like how this makes my eyebrows more fuller and more deeper. I think one of my cats are talking. I feel like that's Tigress. You probably can't even hear. I'm like, what in the heck? What was that? That's pretty much it. I'm gonna real quick go in with my Danessa Myricks spray. I've been loving this spray, by the way. All right, that's it, y'all. This is the finished look. Okay. I said what I said. I do think that Hourglass needs to do a lot more. I have a lot more work to do with the bronze section of their palettes that they release. I do remember they had a shape and sculpt type of palette that is no longer available, that had shades for people who are deeper to be able to use, so they are capable of doing it. They just gotta put stuff out that actually shows it, because that bronzer, by the way, is not gonna show up because it didn't show up on me. So yeah, I think the only deeper shade that I will say for the other palettes was probably the Tiger one, because that one I was able to at least use more, even though it's more cooling. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, it was this shade here, but I don't even think that was even a bronze shade. This was a finishing powder that I use as a bronzer because that was the only deepest shade in here. Like, this one didn't even have a bronzer. Yeah, it didn't even have a bronzer, this one. But yeah, this is another deep shade in the Tiger one that I use as a bronzer, but there's not really a lot of bronzers in their category that is great for people who have my skin tone or deeper. So they have a lot more work to do. But other than that, I liked the palette. I'm gonna play more with this. And the bright powder from Fenty Beauty, I really like this. It's just the price is kind of, you know, but I'm definitely gonna get another shade in here. They should still be having their sale, so I might pick up the cinnamon one if their sale is still back on. But yeah, some of these brands are already having sales, so I have a feeling that there's gonna be an upcoming Sephora sale, because that happens like once the sales are over that brands have on their website. But yeah, that's all. Let me know what you guys think. Did you get the new Hourglass face palette? Did you pass on it? Did you get the Pat McGrath Mega palette? Let me know your thoughts. And you know, thank you for staying so long in this video. Again, my name is T. I love all things skin and beauty. Remember to be kind to yourself, love yourself, and love your skin. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.